KSN News at 10 begins now.
We're taking all the precautions we can to try to keep people safe if it does start to ice up and we have falling limbs.
Harvey County Park officials say the show must go on for an annual Boy Scout campout despite severe weather. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Bergman.
And I'm Darren Dito. Thank you for joining us. The ice has hit south central Kansas, bringing with it very dangerous roads.
Take a look at this. More than 20 vehicles were caught up in this wreck on the westbound exit ramp from Kellogg to the Central Business District. There were a couple of injuries reported. Luckily, nothing serious.
And we checked with local hospitals to see if they've had an increase in patients. A spokeswoman for Via Christi says they have seen 9 slip and fall patients and 8 people who were hurt in car wrecks. Now let's turn to Dave to get the latest on what we can expect overnight and also into the weekend.
Well, it's going to be a messy weekend. Tonight was just the appetizer to what's going to be a full course meal of a winter storm right on through Monday. So here's the way we see things right now. We have been watching a little bit of patchy, light freezing rain, freezing drizzle, still on the radar here this evening. And actually some of it has turned back to snow according to the radar up in the northwest. So all of this, as you can see, kind of moving to the northeast. Let's go ahead and bring you up to the current time, take a closer look. As we move into the south central part of Kansas, I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of light material around Wichita, and then look, another little band going right up the turnpike, and then some in the far southeast corner of our viewing area. Here, little patchy work out by Medicine Lodge up toward Kingman, but it does get a little bit more substantial over the city of Wichita. This is actually a fairly new development from out by Goddard to Andale to Mays, Park City, and over to the east side. You can see that we have a little bit, so we could start to pick up a little bit more on bridges and overpasses here in the next couple of minutes. We watched that heavier band come up out of Oklahoma, and now it has left our viewing area, moving over toward Independence. In the west, we do have a little bit between Garden City and Dodge City, Cimarron up toward Jetmore. This is moving to the northeast. It has not increased in strength, but we may be able to get a little bit to the ground there. And up in the northwest, now a little bit of light snow indicated around Sharon Springs. So let's see where we're going through the rest of the weekend. As we've been telling you, everybody in this pink is going to get some freezing rain this weekend. It'll turn to snow in the northwest. Where are we most worried? Well, that's right here. From Salina to Hutchinson to Hayes to Great Bend, Pratt, Dodge City, Garden City. I think this is the bullseye for what could very well be a damaging ice storm. Widespread power outages, tree limb damage, and of course awful travel conditions expected. Further to the north and west, we're going to change over to a lot of snow, perhaps 4 to 8 inches. This is just the beginning stages. I'll continue to develop fresh information and be back in a couple of minutes.
All right. Thanks, Dave. If you haven't already, now is the time to download our Storm Tracker 3 Everywhere app. It will let you receive custom alerts, letting you know what you should expect out your front door. And it is free to download on Apple and Android devices. Earlier tonight, a band of freezing rain made its way through the area. Connie sent us this photo. You can see ice covering her car and door handles. That's in Ark City. If you take some good pictures of the ice or snow, we'd love to see them. Send them to reportit@ksn.com.
If you're planning on traveling this weekend, experts have some advice on ice and snow. Take it slow. KSN's Emily Younger spoke with a driving instructor about what to do when you hit the road. Emily?
Well, Darren, we've already seen a fair share of crashes in Wichita this evening. Now, this was the scene of a 20-car pileup earlier tonight. Now, experts say if you have to get on the road, remember 3 things: your speed, your headlights, and your spacing. It's another day and another lesson for Wichita driving school owner Mike Johnson.
I tell him you'll learn more every year, and if you think you know it all, you'll find out quickly that you don't.
Sharp right now, turn it early.
Johnson's been instructing students like 14-year-old Ashley Escrow since the 90s.
Now let's just imagine there's ice on the road. You cover now, you brake.
Today's session was all about how to drive in winter weather.
Make it right here now, Ashley.
Specifically, how to drive on ice.
Most people will tell you if it's like 6 inches of snow and it's fluffy, that's easier to handle. But shiny ice, you can lose control very quickly.
Johnson points out 3 key things to keep in mind if you're planning on traveling in this weekend's wintry mix. Number 1, turn on your headlights. That way other cars can see you. Number 2, slow down. Speed is a key player in a lot of crashes. And 3, stay in the right lane, far away from oncoming traffic.
That's the one thing about driving. The better you do it, the safer you're going to be and the less risk you have.
So just remember, ice and snow, take it slow.
You want to make sure that you do everything in a gentle, early, and smooth manner, whether it's braking and stopping or taking off.
And the roads here are already starting to ice up a little bit. You can take a look right here. This is actually a leaf that is already starting to ice. And I mean, guys, it's just going to get worse from there. So if you are planning to travel again, experts, remember those 3 things. But the biggest thing, if you can, stay home. Don't drive. Reporting live in Wichita, Emily Younger, KSN News.
It's just the beginning. Okay, thank you, Emily. The emergency accident reporting plan is in effect for the city of Wichita. That means if you're in a non-injury accident, alcohol was not a factor and both cars are drivable. Exchange information with the other driver and report the accident later. You can pick up those forms from any police substation or area quick trips. And here are the latest road conditions according to KDOT. There are a lot of colors on this map, so let's break them down for you. All right, the areas in purple are completely covered in ice, while the light blue means roads are partially covered. So you can see US 400, well, it's a mixture of both blue and purple. Remember, if you go out this weekend, as Emily said, take it slow. And of course, wear your seatbelts. We have a link to the road conditions on our website. Just visit ksn.com.
While most of us will ride out the storm in our homes this weekend, thousands of Boy Scouts are braving the elements at the 40th Annual Trappers Rendezvous. That's right, a camp out at Harvey County West Park. KSN's Avery Anderson just returned from there. She's here to tell us how they plan to stay warm, Avery.
Steph, we had to make our way back to Wichita because ice started to accumulate in Harvey County. But the Boy Scouts aren't letting the cold and ice rain on their parade. Campers are preparing for the weather to take a turn for the worst.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little colder than last year.
But that's not stopping 9-year-old Connor Bidwell from joining his fellow scouts at Harvey County West Park.
Let's do this.
Bidwell and several thousand others are bracing the frigid temps and making memories by the campfire. But it doesn't come without the proper preparations.
Boy Scouts, our motto is to be prepared. These kids have been preparing for several months, come what may, for the weather. Several of these kids have been out here for several years before.
Montiel tells me when first responders learned a winter storm was headed to Kansas, extra paramedics and even Halstead Fire and EMS decided to set up Camp 2 and brave the elements with the boys.
We don't predict to really have too many problems, even with the impending weather.
Cass Miller, the Harvey County Parks Department director, tells me with the ice predicted to be up to ½ an inch, they do have a backup plan if things get bad. Because the area is heavily wooded, the #1 concern is that tree limbs could snap and hurt someone.
I will pull the plug and send people home if it looks like we need to evacuate and get people on their way so they can make it to their homes safely.
If scouts can't get home, they will take shelter in local schools and churches. But all of that doesn't seem to put a damper on young Bidwell's excitement for a fun-filled yet cold weekend with Troop 809.
I'm really glad that they did, because I never want to miss a year.
Officials say the campers are experts at staying warm with heated blankets, stoves, and cots. And I am told the tents they're staying in will never drop below 40 degrees. Avery Anderson, KSN News.
It's pretty bad when you think 40 degrees feels pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
woohoo!
At least that little guy had that perfect hat, though.
Yes, he was bundled up. Well, the ice storm has caused several events to be postponed or even canceled this weekend. You can see all of those on our website.
But we wanted to let you know about some of the big ones. The Kansas City Chiefs playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers has been pushed back to Sunday night at 7:20, and you can watch that right here on KSN.
Also, the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert at Intrust Bank Arena, that's been postponed until Monday night. Doors will open at 6 and the concert will start at 7. If you can't make it then, refunds are being offered. No matter what happens during this ice storm, you can count on KSN to bring you the latest on what's happening where you live. You can watch our coverage here on KSN and online at ksn.com.
And be sure to tune in Sunday morning to see a special KSN newscast all about the weather. We have live reports from all across the state. It will air at 10:30 Sunday morning right here on KSN.
One of the biggest problems with ice is the damage it can do to the power lines. Coming up next, How utility crews are preparing to deal with outages over the weekend, plus a warning about the danger of downed lines.
And later in sports, the freezing rain didn't keep high school basketball players off the court. We will have highlights from several games in the area.
We're continuing to cover the ice storm, and one of the big concerns for the weekend is down power lines. Energy crews are preparing to be very busy working to restore the electricity.
In Garden City, crews are gearing up to take the brunt of this winter storm. The Public Utilities Department has been stocking up on extra cables and other supplies they may need.
Anything can happen, but the service line, the power line from our power poles in the alleys to a home, that's what seems to get torn down by the tree branches falling.
And remember, don't go near any power lines that may fall. Call 911 to report them and then call your electric company.
Fire officials are warning residents if your power goes out, don't look to social media for do-it-yourself ideas to stay warm.
Some trendy ideas on Pinterest suggest a flower pot over a candle could be used as a space heater. Officials say this is unsafe because the top will get dangerously hot, posing a threat to children, and it could easily tip over.
And how about this one? Other people they're using crayons. Yeah, officials say this is also a bad idea. They say use real candles and keep them away from anything flammable.
Any kind of makeshift device to try to do heating can lead to an issue. In this case, the flower pot on top of there can get hot. Somebody touches it, we can have a burn or an injury. It's left unattended and this breaks because it's not made to take heat. That's not a heat-conducing device.
It just sounds like a bad idea, doesn't it? And when it comes to using generators, officials say make sure you keep them and the fumes they put off outside of your home.
We're not the only ones trying to stay safe and warm, so are the animals at the Sedgwick County Zoo.
Have no fear, though. The zoo keeps staff on the property 24/7 year-round. They have topped off and tested all the generators and have food stocked up for the animals and employees.
While the zoo doesn't expect many guests, there are plenty of animal residents who actually enjoy the cold.
Bison don't mind, elk don't mind, tigers actually like the cold a little bit as well, so they'll be out prancing around, I'm sure.
As for the animals that are sensitive to the cold, they were moved into their winter shelters back in October. Yeah, I'm with them.
They were ready for it, right?
Yes.
Well, those animals and the rest of us could see everything from some rain to snow this weekend. Dave's back to sort through the latest information and prepare you day by day for the storm ahead. His full forecast, it's next.
Now, your KSN Storm Tracker 3 forecast.
We've already had enough, as you heard earlier, to cause that huge pileup downtown. We're still tracking a little bit, but I have to emphasize that this is just the beginning of a winter storm that really won't even get cranked up until tomorrow night. Well, let's show you what we have. Everything, as you can see, moving to the northeast and moving at a pretty good clip. That's good. Less time for it to sit on top of you and ice things up. But nonetheless, from Wichita right up the turnpike to Emporia, we're tracking some. And then we've got some more out in the west we'll take a look at in a second. Let's bring ourselves up to our current time and take a look at the south central Kansas area. From Wichita up to Newton, over to Marion, and then right up the turnpike. I mean, this is literally just paralleling the turnpike as we go up from about Matfield Green service area all the way up to Emporia. So there will undoubtedly be some slick spots, especially on bridges and overpasses on the turnpike as you head to the north. Now, in the Wichita metro area, this has moved just in the last couple of minutes. Again, all of this moving to the north and east. So it's leaving the north side of Wichita right around the North Turnpike, or I should say the North Exchange with K96 and 235. Again, moving to the northeast. Pretty good clip, but this could add a little bit to slick spots as it moves off in that direction. Now let's look at the west. We've been watching a little patch of possibly freezing drizzle or freezing rain in southwest Kansas, and we've got a little bit of snow now in the northwest according to the radar. Right now from just west of Jetmore approaching Nest City, a little area that's been very persistent, so we could see some light patchy freezing rain getting down to the surface. Again, fortunately, moving pretty quickly. In the northwest, we were seeing this depicted on the radar a little while ago as freezing rain, now being shown to us as a little bit of snow from Sharon Springs all the way up to Colby. Okay, so that's what's up right now let's use our Stormcast computer and go hour by hour through the rest of this weekend and show you what's going to happen. First of all, we put her in motion, and you'll notice that overnight into tomorrow morning, the computer is not very impressed. So not a bad start to tomorrow, but look what happens. By the time we get to noon, we're already seeing freezing rain increasing along the Kansas-Oklahoma line. By 5 o'clock tomorrow, we see some of it coming up into central Kansas and a little bit of snow in eastern Colorado. Now watch what happens tomorrow night. Here's where it really kicks into gear. Look at the heavier depictions of freezing rain coming up, and then watch this area right here. Notice how it just stays underneath the freezing rain for a prolonged period of time. That's the area that I'm most worried about. Now we switch to our long range computer, and it continues to show that same area really under the gun. And notice the depiction of warmer temperatures for Wichita and snow to the west. So Wichita tonight down to 24. As you can see, just patchy, light freezing rain or freezing drizzle tonight. Tomorrow, I think most of the day will be the same, just patchy, light freezing drizzle or freezing rain. Tomorrow night, it really kicks into gear. Same thing tomorrow. Yes, we'll probably see some, but everything tonight will be light, and everything tomorrow during the day likely will be light. Then tomorrow night, it really kicks into gear. I'm still going to give you the yellow flag for ice for Wichita for really tomorrow night, mostly into Sunday. And then notice by Sunday afternoon, Wichita could be back to all rain at 40 degrees. For north central Kansas, again, we're going to be looking at that light stuff during the day, then really starting to increase tomorrow night into Sunday. Some parts of this area, as I just showed you, it will be very bad Sunday into Monday when it changes to snow. In the southwest, just light stuff tonight, light freezing rain or freezing drizzle tomorrow. Then tomorrow, late day into tomorrow night and Sunday, it could get very bad. Lots of ice, lots of problems. Some will see it change over to snow Sunday night into Monday. In the northwest, we're going to see just light wintry mix tonight into tomorrow, then tomorrow night into Sunday. We're going to see some freezing rain. It eventually goes back to snow, and some of the snow could be heavy Sunday night into Monday. Lots to worry about this weekend, so don't let the slow start.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of easing us into it. It's going to get worse.
It's ramping up.
This
really.
is easing us?
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. Just wait. All right, thanks, Dave.
Still to come here at 10, entertainer Steve Harvey. He didn't vote for Donald Trump, but he did visit him today at Trump Tower. Why the president-elect thinks Harvey could help one of his cabinet members when we come back.
The U.S. House of Representatives passed a budget bill that is one step in repealing Obamacare. The vote got no Democratic support. 9 Republicans also voted no. The next step involved committees in both the House and Senate being tasked with writing legislation to directly repeal Obamacare, a process that could take weeks.
President-elect Donald Trump met with entertainer and host Steve Harvey today. Harvey was not a supporter of Trump during the election, but he says he's obligated to get to know the next president. Both the Obama and Trump teams work together to set up the meeting. They hope Harvey will assist the nominee for Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Ben Carson, on creating programs for young people in cities like Chicago and Detroit.
Talking about the weather didn't stop some hoops from happening tonight.
Yeah, a whole bunch of high school hoops. We've got 1-point wins, some blowouts. Any type of game that could happen, it did happen. And I'll get you all caught up right after the break. Andover versus Bishop Carroll, two teams that are playing some pretty good basketball recently. The Golden Eagles, winners of 2 out of their last 3, while the Trojans, they've won 5 straight. A big-time matchup out at Koch Arena. Bishop Carroll down double digits at one point. That they had a fourth-quarter lead. 3 minutes left. Andover trailing. Chase Oberg with a big-time 3. Now just a 1-point game, 51-50. Next Andover possession, Nick Kellerman getting the friendly bounce. And the Trojans take the lead, 52-51. Less than a minute left. Andover down 1. Kellerman getting it down low, going up, and getting it to go. Trojans up 56-55. But the Golden Eagles, they're not out of it. Logan Kennedy driving in the lane. What a finish. 57-56 Bishop Carroll. 12 seconds left. Andover down 1. Oberg puts it up for the win. No good, but the refs call a foul on Bishop Carroll with 0.4 seconds left. Andover down 1, shooting a 1-and-1. If they make both, they win. but Oberg misses the front end of the 1-1, and the Golden Eagles escape with a wild 57-56 win. All right, Maize South and West Girls going at it immediately after Andover and Bishop Carroll wrapped up third quarter. Close game, West. Brentasha Johnson laying it in under the basket, 23-19 Pioneers, but here comes the Mavericks. Katie Wagner runs down the loose ball, and the Mavs, they're down 2, 23-21, but Katie Wagner not done. She's just a freshman. The catch, and she nails it. Maize South takes a 25-23 lead, and Maize South just continuing the scoring. Jalen McLaurin pulling down the rebound, and the floater, pretty. Too much Maize South in the end. Jalen McLaurin and the Mavericks win big, 60-39. All right, Maize South and South boys finishing up at Coke tonight. We're going to fast forward a little bit to this one. Mavericks scoring first in this one after the Titans. They started to get it going afterwards. Davian Manning, the steal, going the other way with it for the South Titans, and the basket is good and one. And that ties things up at 2. Later on the fast break, Remy Lamovo taking it away, and DeAndre Adkins for the bucket. Wichita South up 5-4. More easy opportunities. Jariah Taylor, oh man, slam it home. Trojans looking good here though, up early, and then more Taylor putting it in. South, they've got a 2-point advantage. Titans, pardon me, and they are looking good. Trojans, I don't know why I keep saying Trojans. South Titans looking very good, and this one currently South up by 10 in the fourth quarter. All right, Goddard and Valley Center meeting better. Girls up first. We'll fast forward straight to the good stuff. Lions up 6 with a little over a minute to go. They force the Valley Center turnover. Goddard going the other way with it. Cade Hackerott with a full court pass to Sylvia Cortezi, and that is an easy layup for the senior, 44-36. And in the end, the Goddard girls, they win it 45-39, the final score. All right, after that, Goddard and Valley Center boys going at it, and this one was a dandy. Valley Center has highs. I don't know about that. One player certainly didn't. We'll get to him in a moment. Goddard using their height to their advantage early. Bryant Maccabee getting the scoring started for the Lions, and then Brendan Patterson with a nice pass inside to Jeremiah Crawford. But it really helps to have a player like Tyler Brown. Look at this, the pull-up, and it is good. At Valley Center, they go on to win a close one, 75-74. All right, last but not least, going to Eisenhower and Andover Central. Eisenhower trying to go to 7-1 on the year. Andover Central, J.C. Washington for 3. That one is good. And then in the end, though, Matt Pyle and the Eisenhower. Look at the Tigers throw it down. Nice dunk by Pyle. And in the end, Eisenhower goes on to win.
All right, lots of action. Thank you.
All right, final weather's next.
Don't forget, Katie Western will be on duty tomorrow morning for live updates on KSN, KSN.com, and of course on Facebook Live. We'll keep you covered this weekend.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Claire Danes on The Tonight Show next. Stay safe and warm.